All right, great. So I think we have around 45 minutes. So I'm actually going to, and we have a very interesting, highly educated panel here. So and we have a lot of content to go through. So what we're going to try to do, try to make this very interactive, more, and also I'm going to be like a little strict on time. So of course, if remarks like most professors like us, we tend to talk a lot. I will actually sort of cut you off and move on to the next thing. So what I'm going to start off with you, sir, is that maybe you can talk a bit about, in your mind, industry asks for soft skills, right? They keep on saying soft skills, but in your mind, what are the important soft skills?
Yeah, rather, many soft skills are required, not only the presentation skills or writing skills, but it also requires a team building spirit is also a soft skill, a leadership skills, group discussion skills, how the leadership has to be evolved, how, the work has to be divided into a team and then, integrated as one of the work. So that is also soft skill required by the industries. By different questions, industry can judge you with these kind of skills. Thank you.
Great. Your thoughts?
Sir, I think in simple terms, if we can say soft skills which is polished through it can be developed or polished, or we can get through our inheritance, and it is very necessary today's scenario, just because there are a lot of research and that shows people a person is spending 80% of his time, efforts and money on hard skills, and only 20% they are spending on soft skills. So if we look at the success rate, so we get soft skill plays 80% role and hard skills only play 20% role. So it's not an irony, and we can easily get this is the most important skills in today's as a business. And we can take the example of Mr. Ratan Tata sir. He is known for his kindness, empathy, communication skill and leadership skill, and that grows his business from top to top and bottom to top. So this is the most important thing in today's business.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I think the first two panelists have spoken about the importance of soft skills and what I needed. So maybe I'm going to ask you, sir. It's all very nice to say we need to develop soft skills in colleges, but at the end of the day, you have a limited time to teach the students. For example, you have to go through the curriculum, you have to learn other hard skills. So when you have to look at balancing how much of the curriculum you devote to soft skill development versus developing industry knowledge or hard skills, how do you look at a balance like that?
No, in fact, as an institution, you must be focusing maximum part of your curriculum on developing the personality, which is actually the software aspect. I'm reminded of an interesting book which says going hard to soft and soft to hard. So the definition of hard skills is essentially, you should be technically good so that you get a job. But in a services market, where you need to have the soft skill, which actually is the hard skill. Now, your skills to persuade. You can become a great salesman only if you have great persuasion skills, negotiation skills. And this is not a technical so-called, a skill as such. So to say, coding or writing or developing a software and all that. Now, these days, when recruiters come to college, they say, sir, as long as we get the right attitude and somebody who is a lifelong learner and somebody who is a problem solver, whose mindset is solution finding mindset, we are okay with it. Rest all we can train them. Now, this is at the recruitment stage. So let me give an example. What we have done at Sparsh Global Business School is, now normally these soft skills, so-called a tag, keep just before placement, you do some, finishing school kind of a model, brush them up, pep them up, and, kind of so-called make them ready for the interviews and all that. So what we have done differently is we have actually drawn a waterfall model. So from day one of their entry into the institution, I'm talking about management as such, and the same thing applies to even technical courses like that of engineering or sciences. We drawn that, identifying their personality traits, assessment of each student using their personality types, and then taking them through a journey of 6 modules across 6 terms. Now that is more required. The impact of that is greater in terms of placement than the so-called hard skills in big data, ML, AI for managers, all that have been introduced. But the quantum of the quantum of time spent on that is hardly 40%. So I think my short and long answer would be spend more time, the 60% of the time or 2/3 of the time, in grooming these skills, which are called soft skills, but essentially are hard. I mean, I'm reminded of this report of World Economic Forum, jobs, future of the jobs and all that. In that, they list 10 skills for the future, for the next 10 years. Believe me, 70% qualifies to be soft skills. Only 3, so to say, technical literacy and AI and big data, accepting that. So I think the answer is very clear for all academicians here or institution builders here, that spend more time in grooming your folks or the talent pool at your institution, and spend 40% of the time on the so-called technical skills. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. In fact, the best panel always has a bit of controversy, a bit of question and answer. So, sir has just said that you should spend at least 60% of your time developing soft skills in the students. But ultimately, when the student comes into your class, you only have a certain number of hours in which to teach them. You have to finish the curriculum because you can't, the exams are there at the end. So how do you provide 60% to him? Yeah, that's it. I want to make sure there's another.
Just introduce myself. I'm so blessed that I have been invited in a World Congress of Engineering in Mexico. And then I was also invited in Amsterdam for a invited lecture. And I'm very proud to say from the Nagpur University, I have been given the Best Teacher Award. Just to say that, just to give a brief idea about the soft skill and the hard skill, what is happening is, if you find anyone working in an industry or an IT industry, the technician, the who is working in an industry, he can do a wonderful job. He can create a job to a finish end. As far as the IT professional can make a very big data program or any, like say, coding, or he can do Excel and he can do machine learning and data mining. But he or she may not be able to communicate. He or she may not have a good teamwork. He may not collaborate. Even leadership qualities, time management, and the organization, emotional intelligence, empathy, these are all required for the I can say the ecosystem of the industry is very necessary. So that's why if you have a hard skill, but you need to, the global research of LinkedIn has taken out that 90% of the stuff is the soft skill. So everyone need to, or the industry or the academia need to work on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very, very. So I think, taking your point, ma'am, so when you look at NEP 2020, right, the Indian government has actually also realized the value of soft skills development within academia. So in your mind, what are some of the, let's say, some of the aspects of NEP 2020 that has enabled institutions to develop soft skills more in their students?
I would say that NEP is actually a boon in disguise, though it is very difficult to execute, especially when across India itself, there are states like Chennai who are still thinking whether they can implement it in the right sense, local languages problem. And somewhere when we talk about soft skills, especially for many of the affiliated colleges where most of the students come from rural area, I think they are dejected right at the entry point, and then even at the placement level. A 9-point CGPA student may not be placed just because his communication skills are not as good as a student who is having only 5 CGPA but a very good English communicator because he comes from a convent, this thing. Not just that, I recently came across one law student, 2 bright students, one full with jugaad, the other one only a person who can, I would say, write very good opinion, okay, very good with the content, knowledge, but not too good with expressing. I think they all deserve some place in the industry. So what we do is then we plan, like our placement team got one job in ENY as a opinion writer, where he works on a lot of research for the clients. The other one who is very good with Jagar, we have groomed him for practice. He has started his practice as a IPR professional. So I think a right balance looking at each student needs to be developed. We really can't say that hard skills are not important. I would say they are the backbone, and soft skill is more like your fair and lovely cream, which will sell in the market. But let me tell you, even the darker ones who are having robust knowledge, they are the ones in the long run, because people like me take their help to express, to make our document. I will not be able to survive in this world without the hard skills. So I think hard skills are very, very important. And yes, I know it is the, for marketing, you of course need people with great soft skills. Just to add one more thing is, because of nuclear families, I am also seeing that students are not able to handle failure. So this is one skill which I think we have to teach at all levels, how to handle failures in life, where you get rejected despite you being the best candidate. Imagine that we had a competition here. I know who would win. Okay, so I shouldn't feel dejected that I didn't win. So all these small skills are very, very important in the long run, because these days on Quora, people are writing, my boss took away my credit. Of course, bosses are meant to take your credit, isn't it? So what's so great about complaining about such things? So I feel that a right balance and grooming your student to handle both these skills is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. In fact, she raised a very interesting point. I mean, the thing is that we all are part of elite colleges. Our kids are doing very well, getting great jobs. I mean, mostly are doing very well, but maybe, yeah, please do, please.
Actually, ma'am said like I'm like CEO of FAMCAM group of colleges, Hodel, and it's in rural area, and we are working for women education and their empowerment, and we are running like a group of colleges. So like we are working on soft skills by providing like innovative pedagogy, by using different techniques that can be helpful for our students. And that is the result like we are giving. I'm not saying like not lying here we are providing 100% placement, but we are providing good placement, just because we are organizing like workshops and like sessions that is very much helpful for our students. Like recently we have organized Mahindra Tech and Nandi Foundation workshop, and it was 7-day workshop, and that is very much helpful. So it depends like on person to person, and how you are, what you are giving to your students and how you are working on your students. So like being like from rural area, so this is the one of the college that is graduated or post graduated more than 80,000 girls. And what I've heard like from my grandparents, there was zero education in our area. So it depends your vision and mission. And from being like Hodel, and we are inviting people from IITs, IIMs, SP Jain, Mumbai, and like Saris from Noida. We are like already invited like lot of people like from Noida and Delhi, and that is really very much helpful. So it's my request to all, just say abhi like before session there was one of the reputed person here. He was saying ki person to person एक साथ मिलके काम करना है. So अगर सभी like people और सभी लोग ये सोच के चलें कि we have to work for our students and we have to like work for good quality of education, so that like we can break that barrier कि hard skill is more important or soft skill is more important. So both are important, and like it depends like universities and college vision and mission.
So very interesting point, I think, and I'm just going to ask you, sir, because I think you highlighted the fact about rural versus urban, and also about resilience that you were talking about. So the thing is, when you look at, let's say, Indian family values, right, or Indian home environment, also you have people from different economic strata, rural, urban. So in your mind, development of soft skills, how much can you depend on the Indian family culture to actually help to develop soft skills that enable them to be more employable in the real world?
Yes, it is depend. Yes, it is depend on what is my experience or my the multiple experience in Pune. That is from where I am coming for to. More or less 50% are from the students are from villages, and they are somewhat less in they are somewhat shy, right? You're shy to speak something in front of 60 guys, right? So even they are not asking the doubts. How to ask the doubts, even in English, even in Marathi, even in Hindi. So they doesn't ask because they are thinking that if I fail to ask something, or some spelling mistake has to be wrong, or verbal or something kind of skills are less than what to do. So for them, soft skills are more important. But as rightly says one of the panelists says, we came across with some mechanical industries. For that mechanical industries, they doesn't require a soft skill. They require, I want the person to be on the shop floor. So I don't want a soft floor. I don't want soft skill, but interpersonal skill has to be there because I want to get work done from my colleague. So that is required at that time. Teamwork, yes, that has to be there. So at that time, soft skill instead of soft skill, hard skill is more important at that time. So I say, yeah, that has to be there. Thanks.
So I think it's interesting, but when you talk about like industry, and industry said, okay, I want someone with soft skills, employable person, and you have to give me a ready-made candidate. What can industry do to help out? Because all the pressure seems to be coming onto our academics, but what's industry doing to help us develop the soft skills in kids or the hard skills? What can we do with them?
There's only one word, and again, I can give an example of what we have done at Sparsh, mentoring. And we have developed a model called learning by shadowing. So what happens is each student is mapped to a mentor from corporate. So we have empaneled around 50 corporate leaders who are willing to, seniors, 20 plus years of experience, who understand the holistic aspect of business, not very functional, functional focus, so that they can appreciate and also articulate about the interdependencies, functional interdependencies in a business situation. So understanding finance and how finance gets a dependency on marketing on HR, and so on and so forth. So when you have such mentors to guide the students on a regular basis, it's not a one session per semester or something. You need to have this student attached to this mentor and as a bouncing board. So this experiment, when I was heading Symbiosis at Hyderabad, I was the founding director of Symbiosis Hyderabad campus. We have experimented in 2016. Believe me, the results were stunning. We didn't expect such results, but the whole placement problem is gone, because when somebody is groomed by a mentor, they themselves say, we will absorb this guy, or they would refer, this guy, I have worked with him for almost 2 years. He's a good guy, and like that. So yes, all the mentors from. So it calls for a concerted effort, as she suggested. We need to have intent. Content can be developed in-house or can be borrowed and to be integrated in the program. Let me also give you the math. When you said the curriculum, the credits and all that. See, 100 credits for an MBA program. I'm just talking about the management education that I come from.
Yep.
You have to do 50 credits per semester per year, or 100 credits per program. Even undergraduate level, the math is same.
Right.
All you need is 1,000 to 1,500 hours of learning, and look at 2 years of their work in a B school. If it is a residential school, your time required for so-called hard skill is very limited. Rest all, in fact, you put them in situations where the critical thinking is naturally developed. You can have the parameter of measurement is you watch them demonstrating that. So when you give them an event to do, right, and do a briefing before the event, give them free hand to operate, and debriefing post the event, ki kaam wrong hai. Now that's where you will see who is standing where. I think getting industry to participate at that level would be a good idea. Then a plethora of activities are there where you take them to industrial visits, you give them assignments. We have something called, we have created a small little department which is called Experiential Learning Lab. So what we do is we invite problem statements of MSMEs.
Right.
So big corporate guys have their fat departments, or they can afford to go to McKinsey's of the world or all the big consultants, big fours who can give you smart business solutions. But MSMEs can't afford, and they have greatest challenges, and their mortality rate is pretty high there. So we identify, and collaborate with them and tell them, you please send us your problem statement, which you're not able to solve or which has been a pain point for you. And around that problem statement, we develop a team headed by the corporate representative and the faculty and group of students required for that problem statement. It's a time-bound thing. So it can be 2 weeks, it can be 3 weeks, it can be 6 weeks. And then the students make the presentation of alternatives for the problem statement. Now, this is an experiment again, but the results are, amazingly good. In a simple, this whole critical thinking, how do you cultivate critical thinking otherwise? You can't teach it, right? So I think some of these aspects, like, getting MSMEs into your fold by striking partnerships and all, and telling them, yes, we are going to give you solutions or alternatives, or we'll give you our slice of brains without any cost to you.
Right.
This will help enrich my class. So it's a win-win situation. So that's where corporate can actually come in helping both demonstration of hard skills and actually cultivation of soft skills. Now, again, the idea is, I said 70, 60, 40 and moved up to 70. My friend said 90% of it. I think we all agree, basically, that the emphasis should be more on the softer aspects of human being for a longevity of career.
That's true.
And success in the long run.
So, sir, next you actually had a point to make. I think he was raising his hand.
That is my,
I'd love to hear.
backed by Lincoln Research Global Center, Research Center. Anyway, I would like to share my experience, what I termed as a collaborative learning. Usually I take my student in every semester, I take 10 to 15 students to a library where I ask all the students to take the books of different authors, and the chapter is common to all, and they read the book for 15 to 30 minutes, and I first brief them that you read like this. So they have an interaction. Since long ages, there has been a gap of teachers and student relationship. They fear to ask questions to the teacher. So after they read the books of different authors, they interact with it. I ask each of the individual student what you have read, so they share their ideas that in this book, the figure is simple. Some says the theory is simple. Some says the problems are very simple. So there is an informal interaction in the library, and this is what is termed as collaborative learning. So this way, communication skill. Similarly, after having my lecture, I asked the boys, but mainly I asked the girls. They hesitate to come on the board. That is peer-to-peer learning. I asked them to teach what I have taught. So that's also give us the teacher idea, that what we have taught, whether they have they have understood or not. And as the student, they don't fear asking them any questions. Thank you from us.
Interesting. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
See, especially during the recruitment season, every time you have this feedback of, students are not employable, then you have a lot of figures coming in saying that in India, 70% of the students or 60% of the students not employable and so on. So, I make it a point that during recruitment season, why our institution has always been a 100% placement and all that, but that's not the idea. So when I just checked with them, what is the difference that you see when you go recruiting in, say, some of the top tier institutions like IIMs and SP Jains of the world or MDI of the world, and you come to tier 2 schools like ours, or you go below, tier 3, tier 4 further, what is that aspect that you think is missing? At many levels, even the HR folks give you many inputs, but one common thing which really struck me, this is a few years ago, is they say, Dr. Jain, what we see as a difference, significant, perceptible difference, is tolerance for ambiguity. Now that's a profound statement. They said the folks that we are recruiting from the so-called top-tier institution, maybe in terms of their so-called understanding of, say, formula of time value of money, or maybe, how to solve writing macros in Excel, on that scale, they may not be too much of a difference. But the difference is in terms of resilience and tolerance for ambiguity. Means in an ambiguous situation, how do you keep your calm and operate with sanity? I think that is a differentiator, and that is a big soft skills which she also highlighted. We are not able to absorb failure, or we are not able to come back after a failure. This element of resilience is missing. Now, I think this is a striking element.
Right.
I thought I'll just add.
No, very useful. In fact, I'm just going to
Just to add this, I have even copyrighted this collaborative learning. Just to point out the communication skill as far as colleges are concerned, we can have workshops, public speaking, presentations. As far as teamwork and collaborations are concerned, we have group projects, team-based assignments, collaborative research. And for the leadership initiative, there are clubs in the schools and the colleges there wherein they can work at some level that would enhance their leadership quality, and they can do the outreach program for the volunteer work. For the time management, we can have workshops and goal settings. As ma'am has rightly said, that we need to have the emotional intelligence. That is very much necessary. And for the assessment, we have the rubrics. Thank you very much.
So,
Yes. So to answer your question where you said that how is it possible to make soft skill a part of your regular curriculum? So I would say that even in teaching, we have stopped the old ways of teaching, because most of the time I find that we are referring to books which were written in 2010, and we are teaching to students of 2024. So we are actually referring to old data. We have stopped this, and even though we have some affiliated colleges, we say that the teacher has to present something which is relevant today. If you are teaching engine, what is the engine which is relevant today? You cannot be teaching them that 2-stroke, 4-stroke engine of 2010 or I just found 2000, the year 2000 book was referred to. So somewhere we are, when we are making leaders for today or workforce for today, we have to ensure that the entire mechanism, so the soft skill has to start right from the teaching.
right.
And they have to present it in a way like, are you making YouTube videos? Are you asking the students that this is what you have to study? Make a YouTube video to present this. Like for mechanical engineering students, they can actually make a go-kart and present it, because when you do it, then you actually learn it. And of course, in that we have a lot of tournaments. So there are 50 marks for presenting your, product. How good is your product? So I think a mix of all this will make the student a holistic personnel, and his employability will of course go up. And depending on where they are lacking, some student may be very good with communication, but bad with the actual knowledge. So work on the technical knowledge for such students. Those who are already good with technical knowledge, maybe you have to polish their communication skills, all the other skills, because I would say that you are actually grooming them for the world to face the challenges. Because I always take this exercise where I tell the student to look to the left and right, and I said, the person to your left and right are your competitors, not your friends. So ensure that every time, means maybe 4 years down the line, you might meet them in some, hotel. He is waiting for the same interview call which you are waiting for. So how are you better than that particular person? Is all going to, based on your soft skill, how you sell yourself in that 10 minutes. I think we all as educators need to bring up a personality who is a balanced and holistic personality. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'm going to actually ask something very different now. So Like in Germany, they have this whole idea of earning and learning at the same time, very vocational driven. And as you're saying, that nothing beats being in a corporate environment to actually, to actually get a feel of it. So, and of course, now with the Prime Minister launching the new internship program. So I'm asking you, sir, do you see, let's say, academics moving to a learn and earn type model? Will that benefit our Indian education system to make them more employable?
Yes, why not? But don't call it earn and learn because, I must say that it should be rather you are having a freshers with 2 years experience, for example, something like that. In Vishwakarma group, we are having a model like that. Company can or industry can throw the problem statement to the students, but the students are not mentor for that. The faculty is responsible to deliver that project. So along with the students, obvious, that is first. So all third year guys are doing some mini projects, problem statement given by the industry. One. Secondly, we are also having the internship model for final year. Either 7th or 8th semester, student can go to the industry directly, no academic load. We can directly give the credits. Even in the summer vacation as well, student can go to the industry. So that is what when student will be in front of the reviewer or industry person for interview, the weight of the biodata of the students will get increased drastically. And we are directing the interviewer that please ask the question on this one only because I already work on this one. So that is the 20-30% chances are larger to either one student get employable and the placed both. Thank you.
I'm actually going a little deeper into your experience. When you're looking at developing soft skills of girls versus boys, and especially in a rural environment, what are some of the things that you have to be more conscious of when you're trying to develop soft skills in girls versus dealing with boys?
We are giving weekly challenges to our girls. If we talk about soft skills, so for adaptability and flexibility, so we are encouraging our girls to take new challenges or learn new skills each week. And, they are just documenting their experience, what they adapted to unfamiliar situations. And likewise, if we are talking effective communication, so just set a goal for your students.
Right.
And, just set a goal and ask them to interact with different people and focusing on their active learning and clear expressions. And after that, they can report back to you what they have learned. So these things we are doing, and leadership. We encourage girls to take leadership roles on, college activity or community activity. And after that, noting their responsibilities and analyzing how responsible they were when they were doing that activity. So these things we are applying even on girls, and that is very much helpful. And if we talk about the time management, so just ask students to track their time on a daily basis each week. And when they track that, and then note how long they are involved in different activities. And after that, analyze which activity they were very much, effective. So we can do bit things to enhance soft skills. We can leave workshops, plenary sessions side by. But on daily basis or weekly basis, don't wait for any guest lecture or wait for any soft skill motivational, talker there to ask just provide a workshop. Just give few things, and that is really very much helpful. And if we will do, we can see changes, how much they are affecting on weekly or daily basis.
That's interesting. So interesting that people talk about the role of new technologies of like AI and all that. How do you see technology like artificial intelligence and all enhancing the education system that we have to develop the skill sets that we need?
It can really be a big enabler in terms of learning, quality of learning rather. See, NEP gives you 5 pillars. This is accessibility, affordability, equity, quality, and accountability. Now, in this accessibility and affordability and equity, technology can play an amazing role in bringing about all that. It can make high quality content accessible at zero cost, just at the access of your internet, high-speed internet connectivity, you can have access to, the top of the professors talking about most complex, subjects, right? So technology can do one, that is, it can bring in affordability, accessibility, and equity. Second part is when I'm learning. So learning aids, for example. Now somebody gave example of training on language or your presentation skills and so on. Now there are AI-based tools which actually interact with you and give you a feedback real time. You speak to them, the tool will, the app will ask you questions and all that. You record yourself, you talk as if you're talking to an individual, and it will give you a complete summary of how your eye contact was, how was your body language, your facial expressions, and all sorts of things. Now, some of these things which were not possible earlier, technology can enable. So what you were not able to do earlier, you can do now. In fact, you can do much more as the technology matures further. So integrating technology, especially these advanced pieces, into every course, every subject in a program is going to be inevitable. So we are talking about technology as enabler. Then we are saying technology-driven institutions, and now we should be moving at something called technology-infused curriculum. Now, whether you are an engineering graduate or you are pursuing engineering or sciences or management, humanities, or any what you call domain as such, you need to have a slice of technology integrated, embedded into the program. And I think that's where all your digital tech stack, your robotics, your AI and ML and all of them are going to be big enablers for you.
Interesting. I'm actually going to ask another question, in fact, related to this. So we all talk about technology and AI, but of course, there's always the other side of the coin that says, like, a lot of students are now using ChatGPT to write assignments for themselves, and a lot of them are depending on technology, and maybe there's less development of critical thinking and their own thinking skills. So as an educator, how do you balance the role of technology and the role of the teacher and the student's personal development to make sure that not that the student is depending too much on technology and less on developing themselves?
You see, nowadays, the students are not in control of the parents or rather teachers. The technology is out of boundaries. So, as far as the student and teacher connectivity is concerned, we take the advantage of both the technology. Even I can say in my college, every classroom has the television and all the facilities, a smart TV, wherein they can access all the internet and the AI tools. And we can see it's very necessary to have a complete balance. Otherwise, most of the time as a principal, while taking the round, I find some of the teachers using the AI. So it is useful also, but sometimes I find that the conventional chalk and duster or chalk and board, that is very much required, because whatever the content is available on the website is being directly shown to the students. And as far as chalk and board is concerned, it is something which line by line you are progressing. So there are some pros and cons.
No, so I'm actually going to ask ma'am a speculative question. So I think you look at education, the classic education model for the last 200 years up till, let's say, early 2000, it was the same. You're sitting in a class, this is a lecture, chalk and talk and things like that. Suddenly in the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of things have changed. So maybe I'm going to ask you to speculate in your mind over the next 10 years. What do you think could actually, in fact, I'm going to ask all of you, what do you think the one or two things are going to change in education over the next 20 years that will really make a difference? Well, let's see.
Yeah. I beg to, differ.
All right, please.
Yeah. So, with NEP coming in, and you will be able to move out of one institute to other institute because of, academic bank of credit. It's going to be really very difficult for each university to retain a student unless you are giving quality every single year. So I would say that rather than saying that AI or any other technology will replace our faculties, I would say faculties are going to be the game changer If you have if I have a brand like you, students are definitely going to be there. So I am going to then invest in brands. Faculty will be brands. Like just day before yesterday, we have got Dilip Chhapriya as a part of this thing, who is going to mentor our students, and they are going to work on real-time, cars and all that. So I think those kind of people will be driving the, academic celebrities like them will have to be like you. You're talking about old time. In mythology, we remember all the ashram by the gurus, Dronacharya, Sandipani, right? So they were the brands. The time is going to, history is going to repeat. These brands going to drive the institutions. So I think I believe that AI or any other technology is not going to replace our gurus. They are definitely required, and they are the ones who will have all these brands. Those are the institutions who are going to survive. Thank
you, ma'am. So, sir, I'm just going to get, and actually all of you in order. So, the future of education, few lines, couple of lines.
In one word.
One word or line, whatever. Future of education.
So, education across the globe, and more specifically in India, the key word would be flexibility. We are going to witness this whole duration-based degree system to go away, but you have a learning system where you can choose at your pace, at your place, and personalized curriculum and personalized assessment model. And technology, again, as I said, is going to be a big enabler in that. So flexibility with pace, place, and personalization is the key.
Please.
Just the last word. आई कांटेक्ट जो होता है, जो मतलब टीचर और स्टूडेंट में जो व्हाट आई वाज टेलिंग लाइक ऑनलाइन एंड ऑल दोस टेक्नोलॉजी, जब तक स्टूडेंट और टीचर का आई कांटेक्ट नहीं होता, टीचर दूर से पता लगा सकता कि whether the students have understood or not. That is missing in the technology.
Right.
No, your tutor would be replaced by a guru. So tutors won't be required. They would be irrelevant because you'll have a lot of content and self-learning things available, which a tutor was doing earlier.
Right.
It would be replaced by guru, who would be basically a margdarshak, and the Krishna Saradyam. They will be provided, or they should be providing Krishna Saradyam.
Sir, I think there should be balance.
Okay.
Everything is necessary, and we can't deny ki we can leave behind AI tools, online learning platforms, interactive modules, like real life case studies. Like, as we all know, foreign universities are coming here. So and side by side, like as ma'am said, we need gurus, seriously. And we have to, change system so that we can retain our students in classrooms. And before, if we talk about Balmiki Guru and other gurus, there were not any AI were there. There were not any tools and platforms. After that, there was strictness, friendliness also were there. So what I feel, future is bright, no doubt. And we have to, adapt it according to time. And we have to change ourselves. We can't deny, and we can't say कि वो पुराना वाला system चलेगा. We have to change. And balance होना चाहिए. And focus should be on hard skill and soft skill both. And that things depend on industry also. When an industry come into an organization for hiring students, so उसमें से वो line हट जानी चाहिए. What about the soft skills? And how much your students are comfortable for communication skill? What about their leadership style? So if we talk about engineering, so hard skill teach us to operate machines, to operate tools. So सब चीज़ balance में होनी चाहिए. After that we can survive. If we depend on particular one thing, if we depend on AI and tools and platforms or technology, so obviously bhavishya khatre mein hai teachers ka. And if we depend on teachers, so how can we learn new things? Like there are a lot of MDI's program and IM's program. Those are providing online learning platforms. Ghar baithe, I did also one of the executive program from IM's Calcutta. I didn't get a chance to clear CAT exam, but I visited Joka campus there. So, balance hona chahiye and future bright hai, and we have to change according to time. Change must hai, and we have to learn new things, new situations, and that's why after that we can survive.
Lovely. So, last word, future education.
Yeah. Before pandemic, the students are using to sit in the class for 1 hour at least. After pandemic, the attention span is very, very, very less. 7 minutes maximum, I think, right? It is now hard to us, and be precise, your answer, your question ka answer is, the problem or project-based learning has to be there instead of, because, जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं, that is already there on the internet, and students are wise enough from 10 times than us, right? Can go on the internet and then can see all the syllabus and all this stuff. उसमें क्या क्या है, and the multiple teaching materials from renowned institutions. But then our challenge is student कैसे बैठे college में, or at least college में तो आए पहले, right? So instead of teaching them, give it the problem statement, उस पे काम करो, rather than teaching तो parallelly होता रहेगा. So problem or project based learning is the future, but that is what I'm thinking of. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. So I think this has been a very high powered panel and a lot of detailed discussion and detailed points. In fact, I wish we could continue for another 1 hour, but I think we're running out of time. I don't know, do we have time for 1 or 2 questions? Did anybody want to ask anything? Or yes, please, ma'am. Yes.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Professor Dr. Zarina Sultana from ISL Engineering College, Hyderabad. Now, these questions I really wanted to ask in the roundtable conference also. There was short of time there also. So, last year when I happened to surf the net in the Google search engine, I came across a post where it was written as Google Dakshina on the Teachers' Day, 5th of September. It was written as Google Dakshina. So, what is your call on this? Any one of you can answer to this. Thank you so much.
On this, I would like to just mention that many people ask me that what is your vision and mission statement when we go for training programs. So I have this one person in my mind whom I adore a lot, Chanakya. So I say that I want to be a Chanakya who can make a lot of kings and queens. My students are my kings and queens. A Guru Dakshina is when your student becomes a king or a queen in whatever domain they choose. You get your Guru Dakshina. Of course, we charge a lot of fees to sustain our life. Even during those days, they used to send even a son of a king for, getting food and arms. And they had some limitations on the 5 houses and all that. So somewhere we also, at a particular stage, all the institutions know what they can charge. But after that, the best Guru Dakshina, which a institution can get, is when they can flaunt that so-and-so student is our student. He was the alumni of our institution. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, I think Guru Dakshina, sometimes you have to enjoy the joke and real estate.
Like वो शादी में invitation आता है, वो digital card, and we revert it back by showing the dollar and rupee icon. Ma'am, ma'am said very true. जब student successful होता है, जैसे what we see organization, एक जब बच्चे आते हैं ना, एक sweet box हाथ में होता है कि ma'am I got selected in Navy, ma'am I got just clear my GRF, ma'am I just got clear my this exam. So that is our Dakshina. तो वो goosebumps खड़े होते हैं जो that time we feel कि yes, we are on right track. Money, Dakshina, you can say it, money doesn't play good role. What you get in life when you see your student and they say, hello ma'am, I'm here, working as a professor. I'm here as a doctor. I'm here as an engineer. That is real Guru Dakshina, ma'am. Thank you.
Lovely.
Just take एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर रहा हूँ. आई वॉज वॉचिंग सम रील्स. उसमें एक जगह था कि मोदी जी कहीं स्कूल के फंक्शन में गए थे, मोदी जी. तो व्हाट ही सेड कि जो टीचर्स को सबसे अच्छी गुरु दक्षिणा ही समझिए कि कोई स्टूडेंट अगर आपको अपनी शादी का कार्ड टीचर को लाके दे, वो सबसे अच्छा टीचर समझ रहे. These were the words of the Honorable
I think
Prime
when
Minister.
Iqbal is standing at the podium, he's actually wanting us to finish off quickly. So do we try for one more question or we think we're done?
Okay.
Any burning
Only one
question? Nothing? Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
We're up.
Thank you.